This video is going to be about sexual reproduction. In sexual reproduction, offspring have some genetic information from each parent. So notice the difference here. In sexual reproduction, we now need two parents, right? One parent, two parent, okay? And cells from each parent fuse together, and you get a unique organism, right? An organism with its own unique genetic information. It is not identical to its siblings unless it has identical twins. It's not identical to the parents, but it does have some genetic information from each parent. So here's a big difference between this and asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction has one parent and two offspring, at least. And in sexual reproduction, you have two parents and one offspring, possibly more than one, depending on the organism. Asexual, it was exactly the same genetically. Sexual reproduction, we are creating unique, genetically unique organisms. Pros and cons of sexual reproduction. Pros, lots of genetic diversity. You have now three individuals, right? Two parents and an offspring that are all genetically different. So if genetic diversity is a goal for you, you will get that with sexual reproduction. And given genetic diversity is going to be significantly increased with sexual reproduction, this is going to be great for organisms in environments that change. Given that you might not be able to well predict what the environment will be like in the future, having this genetic diversity could possibly help you. Cons, it obviously takes time to find a mate. Think about what a human might go through before they have kids, right? They go on dates, maybe not everybody works out, then you find somebody that you like, and then, maybe you marry them, and then when you feel like it and you're ready, you'll have kids or something like that. Lots of time to find a mate. And if you think about certain organisms that maybe have only certain parts of the year they can have children, a big one that comes to mind is pandas. There's lots of time involved associated with sexual reproduction. Also, you need time associated with growth and development of the offspring. In sexual reproducing organisms, frequently the organisms are not ready to sexually reproduce until a portion of their life cycle. Obviously, humans are not ready to reproduce, right after they're born. They're ready years and years later when they're an adult. So there's a lot more with that. So again, thinking what organisms might reproduce asexually entirely, bacteria, possibly some protists, possibly some plants. Obviously, our body cells do. Organisms that reproduce sexually are going to be only eukaryotes, so animals, plants, and fungi. Fungi also can reproduce asexually. And of course, as you know, some do both. Plants can reproduce sexually and asexually. Our body cells reproduce asexually, whereas to create new organisms, we reproduce sexually. So you have to be clear about what you're talking about in terms of when and what they're producing to determine if they do asexual or sexual reproduction.